Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, where we preview and predict every men's college basketball conference tournament. Now up is the Big South tournament, which begins today. The first round, the quarterfinals will be Monday, the semifinals will be Thursday, and the championship will be on Saturday. So, without further ado, here we go with the Big South tournament predictions. All right, the first game is at 2 o'clock Eastern Time today. Number 9 seeded USC Upstate against 8 seeded High Point. Upstate 5-17 on the season, 5-11 in conference play. High Point 8-14 on the year, 6-11 in conference play. I project this High Point by 8.5 total, 138.5. So therefore, I have High Point advancing to the next round. Next up at 4 o'clock this afternoon, number 10 seeded Presbyterian at number 7 seeded Hampton. Presbyterian 7-14 on the year, 5-12 in conference play. Hampton 10-13 on the year, 9-9 in conference play. My projections: Hampton 6 total, 137.5. Therefore, Hampton to the quarterfinals. And the quarterfinals obviously begin on Monday, and at 6 o'clock, it looks like it's going to be number, according to my projections, by the way, 8-seeded High Point against number 1-seeded Winthrop. I project Winthrop by 21.5. Therefore, Winthrop to the semifinals. And by the way, Winthrop on the year 20-1 and 17-1 in conference play. And then also at 6 o'clock Eastern, on Monday night, you got number 7 seeded Hampton against 2 seeded Radford. Radford on the year 14-11 and 12-6 in conference play. My projection: Radford by 6.5. Therefore, Radford to the semifinal. 7 o'clock Eastern on Monday, number 5 seeded Longwood against number 4 seeded UNC Asheville. My projection: Asheville by 9 total, 140. Therefore, Asheville to the semifinal. Then you got number 6 seeded Gardner-Webb against number 3 seeded Campbell. And by the way, Longwood 11-15 on the year, 10-10 in conference play. Asheville 10-9 on the year, 9-5 in conference play. Gardner-Webb 11-14 on the year, 10-10 in conference play. Campbell 15-9 on the year, 11-6 in conference play. My projection for Gardner-Webb Campbell -4 total, 138.5. Therefore, Campbell to the semifinals. The semifinals, I have UNC Asheville against Winthrop. That game would be, in theory, at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. My projections: Winthrop by 11. Therefore, Winthrop to the championship game. Then number 3 seeded Campbell against number 2 seeded Radford at 7 o'clock. My projection is actually Campbell by 2. Therefore, Campbell to the championship game. So my championship projection, which will be Sunday at noon on ESPN, number 3 seeded Campbell against number 1 seeded Winthrop, and my projection is Winthrop by 11. Therefore, Winthrop would go to the 2021 NCAA tournament. And very quickly, like I did on the America East podcast, I'm going to do the same thing for the Big South. I'm going to go over what FanDuel has the lines and stuff for and give out picks. So, the first one today, Presbyterian Hampton. Again, I'm Hampton 6 total, 137.5. Meanwhile, FanDuel has Hampton 2.5 total, 137.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Hampton at -106. And then the Upstate High Point game, you got, I'm trying to find that here, guys. I thought that was a 2 o'clock game. I'm just going to double check if that game is on the board. SC High Point is actually the 4 o'clock game, and Presbyterian Hampton's actually the 2 o'clock game. And FanDuel has it High Point 5 total, 136. And again, I am High Point by a half total, 138.5. So I'm taking USC upstate plus the 5 at minus 106 for my pick, although I do expect High Point to win the game. So there you have it for the Big South Tournament predictions. I'll be back perhaps tomorrow night or on Monday with more conference tournament predictions, as a bunch of these tournaments will begin next week, with on Wednesday the Atlantic 10 starts, Atlantic Suns Wednesday as well, Big South, well it says Thursday but they were wrong, Missouri Valley begins Thursday, Ohio Valley Wednesday, Southern Friday, Summit Saturday, Sunbelt Friday, WCC on Thursday, and then the Colonial on Saturday for next week. So those podcasts will be all out at some point next week. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, everyone.